What's going on, YouTube? Have you ever wondered what it takes to run 35-inch tires on your second or third gen Tacoma? Well, on today's video, we're going to walk you through one of the biggest modifications that you got to do to be able to run 35-inch tires on your Tacoma, and that is the calf mount relocation bracket from 1320 Performance. Today, we're going to be cutting off the existing calf mount brackets from my brother's truck, and we're going to be welding on a fresh one from 1320 Performance. So if this is a modification that you've been on the fence about doing, you're in for a treat today, because we're going to walk you step by step everything you got to do to be able to run these brackets on your truck. So we'll go ahead and get on to this project. But remember, if you like this video, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. And now let's go ahead and get going with the project. After you chock the rear wheels and jack up the truck, you're going to want to set the frame of the truck on jack stands, as this will allow you to use a jack to raise the body separately when you loosen up the cab bolts to be able to remove the existing bushings and tack the new cab mount brackets in place. As you can see, I'm using a trim kit from Amazon to remove the plastic clips from the fenders. When you do this, don't be too worried about saving the clips. You should be worried about saving the fenders and them not getting damaged on removal to be able to put them back when you're done. As you can see, my buddy Bobby came over to give me an extra set of hands. That definitely made it for quicker work. And we removed the inner fenders as well. And there is about 4 10mm bolts in the wheel well holding up part of the mud flaps as well as the front portion of the bumper. As you can see, now everything's exposed on the inside of this fender. I'm going to show you guys the other side. There was a whole lot of debris in here that I had to clean up, which I'm not sure how that gets in there, but there was quite a bit of it in there. And I removed all these clips from the inside. I'm still not sure if I'm gonna remove the bumper just yet, because I want to remove as much as I can so that when I put everything back together I only have to do it once. But I'll show you what the other side looks like, which is pretty much identical to this one. If you look in here, you see all this debris that was packed into the fender. I'm not sure if that's a common thing, but on the other side I had quite a bit of debris. I'm looking at this whole thing and I'm going to be removing everything from the inside here. And I just gotta I removed all the bolts and screws from here. As you can see, these haven't barely been removed. You can really tell. I'm going to be cutting these I'm thinking about maybe 2 inches, going about right here somewhere. And that's really going to open up that fender. It's going to open up that fender quite a bit going across. So that'll really make some room for those 35-inch tires so that we don't have any rubbing whatsoever. This is the bracket we're going to be cutting off right here. This is going to be, I'm going to start with the driver's side just because it's going to be a little harder. There's actually a wiring harness that runs back here once I remove this. And I just think it's always better to start on the harder side just to make it easier later on. But once I get everything removed, I'm going to loosen up the body mounts around, and I'm going to measure what my height is right now to the body or to the top of this. And I'm going to cut all that off. The rain's coming in right now, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do this today, but worst case scenario, we'll shoot this and start getting everything cut up and cleaned up. But I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of the progress here where these are way more open now. However, they're not trimmed. Once I trim these off, I'll be able to really get these cleaned up. So this here is the one that's going to go on the frame, and this is the bracket. And these things are really nice. As you can see, the quality of the build, they're very, very nice. I'm going to get them cleaned up too, prepped for the work. These brackets here are going to go right about here, obviously the other way. These are going to go in here, and they're going to close that up to add more support. These are the bushings that came with it. They separate into two, as you can see here. They're very good. I mean, I'm really happy with the products. So we're back out here again with the Toyota. Last night we were actually getting ready to start doing everything. I was able to take the fenders off. I was able to start loosening the main bolts that go on the cab mount inside of the cab. So I did get some stuff done. Unfortunately, weather came in, and as you can see, doing the work in the driveway. So weather takes a big part on this videos for me. So I do have a little bit of cafecito this morning, so I'm getting a little bit of caffeine in my system. I'm doing better. If you know anything about me, I can't function without my coffee. I'm a coffee, a little bit of caffeine uh, junkie, but it should be a fun day. We have a plan. We have things lined up. I know what I need to do. I'm hoping to get that cab mount cut out today, as well as getting those fenders trimmed today. So I have some cafecito. I have a plan. I got the tools to do it, and I think it's going to be fun. So why don't you join me today? Let's get this knocked out, get it out of the way, and we should be good. But first, cafecito. That's good cafecito. Now to the fun part. All right, guys. So we got this bracket all cleaned up. I do have to fill this here. Looks like I got it as I was cutting with the plasma cutter, but not a big deal. I'll be filling these in with the welder, make it look nice and pretty. But as you can see, it's completely gone. So the next step now that it's prepped and cleaned up, and after I fill this little void here with the welder, I'll grind that back down flush. I will be tacking on the actual mount. So I'm gonna put the bushing together, put it all together, and I'm gonna put the bolt through here, tighten it down, just hand tighten, just, you know, make it nice and snug. And I'll be putting the plate up against the frame, and I'll be dropping the actual cab back down to the measurements that I took earlier. So once I bring that down, it's at the level that it needs to be, which should be pretty much, it should fall with the other two mounts as well. I think it should be pretty self-explanatory, but I took measurements regardless just to make sure. And then I'll tack that on. Then I will be loosening up the bolt, removing the actual bolt itself, raising the cab back up, and welding everything on. So I'll probably weld the plate first to make it easier, and then I'll weld the actual bracket, and then I'll weld the bottom of the bracket, and hopefully it comes out nice and pretty, and should be good. So let me know if you have any questions about it as we're going. I think this is the hardest portion of it. Realistically, it's just the cutting, the grinding, the tedious work that it takes. Other than that, I mean, if you're pretty comfortable with the grinder And if you're comfortable with the proper tools, it's not that big of a deal. But as you can see now, for the 35s, because the way the radius here, as the wheel moves down, this is going to be further back, so it'll clear up quite a bit, because the other bracket was down here, so this wall dropped to about here, and it was hitting, so the tire would, as it turns, it would hit here. So, and then I'll also be doing some with this pinch weld. I'm not sure, I don't think I'm going to be cutting it completely, but I've seen some guys do a lot of little slots. I think I'm just going to do a couple big slots, take the soft blow hammer and pound it in. It should be nice and lined up. I'll probably cut the edges here at an angle, down here also at an angle, and because this fender here is going to go away, it should be good. So good stuff. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I took a measurement of the height of the body to the ground before I removed the 19mm bolt that's inside the cab, or cut off the existing or the stock body mount bracket. The 1320 Performance is a great kit. However, there was no instructions that came with the kit to be able to install it or what process to do. So the only thing I could do, based on some research that I did online, watch a couple of YouTube videos from other companies, the one thing that made more sense was to measure the height of the body to the ground. And after watching all that on, watching the videos and doing some research, I was able to kind of come up with a plan to install the new one. So I just kind of followed that principle. I took the measurement of the stock cab mount bracket, and when I installed the new relocation bracket, I just made sure that the height of the body matched what it was before. If you watch me, I use the jack to try to set the height. You'll watch me use the measuring tape multiple times. You'll also watch me take the bushing apart multiple times, as I was trying to make sure that this was matching to the stock height at all costs, because the last thing you want to do is for it to be either higher or lower. And as you tighten down all the cab mount bolts, you don't want it to be any different than what it was originally. So when you do this, just make sure you take the right height from whatever point you use. Just make sure it's not going to change. In this case, because the frame is sitting on jack stands, the frame's not going to change. So therefore, the height to the floor is going to stay the same. This is the reason why I went ahead and took the measurements that way. And after I did it all, I think it pretty much worked out great. I didn't see anything out of the norm. So if you're going to be doing that and you're going to be using 1320 Performance brackets, just be aware it does not come with instructions, or at least I didn't find any. If you do, let me know. I'd like to know. Find them in the comments, or leave it in the comments. Or if 1320, if you're watching the video, let me know if you do have instructions, because I didn't find them. So that was the best process that worked for me. So hopefully it helps you guys when you guys do it. All right, so if you're wondering what that looked like after all that plasma cutting. This is what it looks like now. Um, I managed to be able to get almost all of it with very minimal damage. Well, actually, almost no damage at all to the frame. I mean, the only thing left really is just the welds. Now the rest of it, I'm gonna go ahead and take the grinder and start cleaning that up. And it should turn out real good. Now that we're on the other side and we're installing the cab mount relocation bracket on the passenger side, we're simply going to repeat the process that we did on the driver's side, which is matching the height that the stock bracket was set to. You'll see me utilizing the jack. You'll see me pulling out the measuring tape multiple times, and you'll also again see me taking the bushing apart multiple times till I get it set to the height that it was originally with the factory bracket. All right, guys, I just finished the bracket or the cab relocation bracket on the passenger side of this Tacoma. And let me tell you, it came out really good. This thing's looks really good. Um, I'm not sure if you can really see it right there, but oh, there it is. The finish work actually came out really good. The welds came out real clean. I can't really ask for more. That's a good looking, those are some good looking welds. Came out real clean. Um, I mean, outside of, I didn't really do much more different on this one than I did on the other one. There was a couple of things that I could have done better on the other side, but I learned on this side to make those corrections accordingly. And let me tell you, it paid off with dividends. I'm really happy with how it looks. Um, so now that I got this portion of it done, which was, I think, if I'm being honest, probably the harder portion of this, I still have to remove, I got to mount the bumper in the front. I got to put the low profile bumper that's already painted. I got to start mounting the aux beam light bar, and then I got to clip it back on. I got to trim the fenders. I want to trim them together. I was glad I removed everything. It looks a lot better this way. It made it easier to have all this opened up this way. So um, definitely worth the time to remove everything to give myself more room, and it worked out better that way. So the next step here is going to be trimming the fenders, opening up for those 35s. That's kind of the biggest goal here, is really getting room in here for 35-inch tires. So I'm really looking forward to the outcome of that. So if you really like this video, or if you just like the video, subscribe to the channel. This is for low addicts. This is what we do. This is the kind of projects we like to do. We like to build, wheel, break, and repeat. Um, it's just fun. Everything that we build, we like to go wheel it, and it breaks. Then we fix it, and we wheel again, and we repeat. So just like the video, subscribe, and I'm hoping to produce a lot more videos like this coming forward. So join us for the next video. Stay tuned. Definitely look forward to the outcome of this Tacoma, so you can see this project from beginning to end. It's going to be a good looking truck at the end of the day. I mean, it's a good looking truck overall. This Tacoma is actually the second gen, looks really good, and I think once we're done, it's going to look killer. I think my brother's going to be super excited. My goal is still to finish this by Christmas. And if all goes as planned, I'd like to do basically go over to him and do a reveal of the outcome. So I want to see his reaction. You can, I'll take the camera with me and I'll record his reaction. You've seen the process from beginning to end. If you join us, and you'll get to see his reaction, what it's going to look like. I'll do a side-by-side comparison of what it looks like before and what it looks like now, or when we're done. So again, subscribe, like the video, and we'll see you next time.